Hello, I'm Erik Robey.
And I'm Karla Schaffer, and this is Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Today we'll take you down to Queenstown and tell you about a quick response by a park ranger that saved a man's life after he was struck by lightning, making headlines around the county. A very special groundbreaking was held this week in Brooklyn at the future site of a home for homeless veterans. County Executive John Leopold joined Kathleen Koch of Anne Arundel Community Development Services and officials from House of Hope to celebrate the event. The facility was called the Patriot House and will house up to 6 people. It will provide transitional housing for homeless veterans and is the first facility of its kind in Anne Arundel County. The existing building will be demolished and replaced by a 3,000 square foot structure. The $600,000 price of the Patriot House is funded by a combination of federal, state, and county grants. County Executive Leopold said of the project, "We have a responsibility to support our veterans who have sacrificed so much for our country. Many are suffering from ailments such as post-traumatic stress syndrome or drug addiction. This project is part of our safety net services to help the homeless and our veterans." The project is scheduled to be completed by Veterans Day this November.
Well, it's the least we can do for the people who put their lives on the line for us. And as a former veteran, I thank the County Executive and ACDS for taking care of our veterans. Well, the boys of summer are in full swing, and our Orioles and Nationals are both doing pretty well, depending on the week. Soon, our local athletes will be able to see their own games right here on this channel. County Executive Leopold announced this week that the county has purchased high-tech video equipment that will be installed at Joe Cannon Stadium to broadcast live games right here on Anne Arundel Community Television. The equipment is paid for by the fees cable subscribers pay on their monthly bills for government and educational TV. The new setup will also provide a chance for local students to learn hands-on the ins and outs of television production. County Executive Leopold said of the new amenities, "For a lot of people, the first thing they do when they get to the newspaper is open up the sports section. We want our community cable channel to have the same attraction." About 500 games are played at the Harmon Stadium each year, from high school to adult leagues, and if everything goes according to plan, we'll be watching baseball on this channel next spring.
This week, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to 1,457 calls for service. This included more than 1,066 emergency medical calls and 157 fire calls. A scary incident in Pasadena occurred when a man was struck by lightning at the Fort Smallwood Park fishing pier. Several people were injured in a multiple vehicle accident in Edgewater, and a fire destroyed a home in Severn. Division Chief Michael Cox of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department is with us to talk about the quick action of a park ranger that may have saved the man's life. Chief?
Thanks, Karla. Just before 4 p.m. on Wednesday, June 8, 2011, Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to a reported motor vehicle collision in the 100 block of Mayo Road in the Edgewater area of the county. The first unit to arrive on the scene reported a 3-vehicle accident with entrapment involving a school bus. The first arriving firefighters worked quickly to free the trapped occupant and to treat the numerous patients who were injured. In all, 9 people were injured as a result of the incident. The patients ranged from the young to middle ages, and their injuries were all classified as minor in nature. All 9 patients were transported to Anne Arundel Medical Center in Annapolis to be evaluated for their injuries. Later that evening, county firefighters were again called into action when they received a call for a reported house fire in the 7800 block of Faulkner Road in the Severn area of the county. At that time, firefighters found flames coming through the roof of a 2-story single-family dwelling. Additional resources were immediately requested upon arrival of the first crews at the scene as they attempted to control the 2-alarm blaze. In all, it took more than 50 firefighters from Anne Arundel County, Fort Meade, and BWI Airport fire departments about 30 minutes to bring the incident under control. There were no injuries as a result of the incident, and the exact cause of the fire remains under investigation. A damage estimate was not immediately available. However, investigators advised that the home was a total loss. And last but certainly not least, a Glen Burnie man remains in critical condition at the Maryland Shock Trauma Center in Baltimore after being struck by lightning on Sunday, June 12, 2011. The incident occurred around 5:40 p.m. when a 29-year-old male was found in cardiac arrest on the fishing pier at Fort Smallwood Park. In this case, witnesses at the scene told firefighters that they noticed the man lying on the pier after hearing a loud clap of thunder and seeing a lightning flash in the area of the pier. A civilian at the scene and a county park ranger immediately began CPR on the patient until the arrival of fire department paramedics. The patient was ultimately transported to shock trauma in Baltimore via ground ambulance Priority 1. Karla?
Thanks, Chief. That thunder and lightning really shook the county the other day. Hopefully this case will serve as a reminder to seek cover and be safe during bad weather. You don't want to be out in the open, and you certainly don't want to be close to the water.
You know, Karla, that seeing the fire report, a lot of things happening. I mean, definitely we're thankful that, you know, as of taping of the show, that the man is still alive, still at the hospital, still getting the treatment that he needs. But an interesting story.
Okay.
Wednesday, I had a meeting with the fire chief, Bob Ray, and one of our constituents, a business owner down in South County, came up, and we were talking about fire boats and fire protection on the water. And as they were leaving, I understand, they're walking out of the Arundel Center to their cars, to the garage, and lo and behold, there's a car on fire. So we've got the fire chief and a gentleman that's very concerned about fire protection,
right.
And then actually with them was the volunteer chief from the Deal station. So we've got some of the best trained firefighters right here to take care of a car fire. So
who put out the fire?
Well, John Heiser, the business owner,
okay.
He went to get a fire extinguisher, gave it to our fire chief. And our fire chief, Bob Ray, apparently
Chief Ray
put out
the fire.
Absolutely,
wow.
He put out the fire, and
he doesn't see much action these days.
I would imagine not. You know, so it was good that he still is in practice and still is informed. So good work, Chief. Good work to our friends down there in the Deal area for helping out and assisting in that. So it was good story.
It is a good story. Yeah.
Well, Karla, there's more Week in Review to come. Take a look at the community calendar for what's happening around the county. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
County Executive John Leopold wants to remind all residents that an animal should never be left unattended in a vehicle during the hot summer months. Even on a mild day with the windows cracked, the temperature inside will rise quickly, causing imminent harm or death to pets. If an animal control officer sees an animal left unattended in a vehicle, a criminal citation will be written, and the owner of the vehicle must appear in court and face a potential fine of $500 and 30 days in jail. Don't put your animal in harm's way, even on a mild day. Don't leave any pets unattended in vehicles.
Welcome back. In this week's Police Beat, Justin Mulcahy is here with information about a multiple stabbing that shocked a quiet Crofton neighborhood and has gripped everyone's attention in the county and around the state. Justin.
Thanks, Erik. A female victim inside of the residence contacted police and reported that her father assaulted her along with her sister and their 49-year-old mother. When officers arrived on scene, they made contact with both children, a 13-year-old female and a 20-year-old female, who were suffering from apparent lacerations to the upper body. Additionally, the 49-year-old female victim was located inside of the residence suffering from apparent lacerations to the upper body as well. All three victims were transported to shock trauma in Baltimore. Officers established a perimeter and canvassed the area in an effort to locate the suspect. Patrol officers, with the aid of K-9 unit, located that suspect about 45 to 50 minutes later around 7:30 a.m. in a nearby wooded area. This was in the 2400 block of Chelmsford Drive in Crofton. The suspect also suffered from several lacerations. He was taken into custody without incident there. A 49-year-old suspect was transported to shock trauma in Baltimore. Charges are pending against that suspect. Detectives from the homicide unit assume responsibility for the investigation, which is ongoing right now. Anyone with information is asked to contact Detective Norval Cooper of the homicide unit at 410-222-3453. We're going to move now to our second incident. That one took place on June 14th at about 1:55 in the morning. That's when officers from the Northern District responded to the area of Shelley Road and Whitmore Court in Glen Burnie for a report of shots fired. When officers arrived on scene, they located a 30-year-old male victim from Glen Burnie who reported that he had just arrived home and was sitting in his vehicle talking with friends in the parking lot of his apartment complex. That's when two unknown male suspects approached his vehicle from the rear with guns drawn and demanded money. As a result, the victim attempted to run away, and one of the suspects fired a handgun at him but struck a parked vehicle. The suspects were then last seen running southbound towards Shelley Road. Now, no one was injured during the incident, fortunately. No weapons were recovered at this time. The victim indicated that the suspects were unable to take any money or property from him during this incident. Officers in a canine unit canvassed the area but were unable to locate the suspects, and this investigation is ongoing. Suspects in this case are being described, the first one as a black male about 5'10" with an average build, last seen wearing all black clothing as well as a black bandana over his face. Suspect number 2 also described as a black male with an average build wearing all black clothing and a black bandana over his face. Now, as always, folks, if you have any information on any crimes or suspects we mention on the show, don't hesitate to call, email, or text your tip to Metro Crime Stoppers hotline. It's available 24 hours a day, toll free, 1-866-7-LOCKUP's the number. You can also text message MCS plus your message to crimes at 274-637. Your third option, visit the website at www.metrocrimestoppers.net. Remember, phone calls are not recorded and callers remain anonymous. You might be eligible for a cash reward of up to $2,000. Back to you, Eric.
Thanks, Justin. We hope that everyone fully recovers and that the neighborhood can get some answers.
Well, Mary Felter is with us this week with some tips for seniors in figuring out what kinds of changes are just part of the normal aging process and which are signs of something more serious. Mary?
Thank you, Karla. Today my guest is Mary Chaput, who is the director of our respite care program at the Department of Aging and Disabilities, but she's also in charge of the National Family Caregiver Support Program. Welcome to Week in Review.
Thank you, Mary. I'm glad to be back.
I asked you to come back so that you could talk about one of the workshops that you have coming up. I think it's called Aging, What's Normal, What's Not.
That's right.
They've already met once, and you're going to have two different ones, or it's the same workshop but two different times.
Exactly.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you selected this topic and why?
Well, we selected the topic because we get a lot of questions from caregivers and from just other seniors out there noticing the changes that are happening as they're getting older, and they're a little concerned. Is this something that's normal? Should I be concerned when I have these senior moments? Does that mean I'm getting Alzheimer's? So we decided to have a workshop so maybe relieve some of the stress and let them know that there are some normal aspects of aging, but also point out the things that they should be concerned about and get medical care for.
Well, people might be looking for some sort of assurance as they're getting older, right?
That's exactly right, especially when it comes to those senior moments. And I know we all have them, and some days they seem to be coming a little more frequently than other days. We also are concerned about the changes that we're seeing in our vision and our hearing, particularly because that might affect our driving ability. Mm-hmm. So again, we're going to talk to people about what you can expect in normal aging. Doesn't mean that everybody's going to have it affect them the same way, but again, point out when you need to be concerned and when you need to seek some medical attention.
I understand you're also going to address some emotional and mental health issues.
That's right. We'll be talking about that because many of these changes affect how we feel, and when we start seeing some of these changes, it may affect us, and we may be experiencing some sort of depression. But we also want to look at some of the realistic things, and when should we be looking at getting some assistance with some of the heavy-duty chores that we have, such as yard work, and what things should we be considering to do to take care of ourselves. You know, maybe we should be taking an exercise class at the senior center. Those kind of things. Mm-hmm.
I understand it's supposed to be a fun-filled workshop. I was wondering how you're going to inject humor into this.
Well, you know, it's not all doom and gloom, and how we age has a lot to do with our attitude towards aging. And we do a lot of laughter at this workshop. We laugh at the things that we see in ourselves. We laugh at the things we see in others. And it's all about how we're going to age gracefully.
Who's going to be teaching this workshop?
Mary Fridley, who is a RN, and she's a board certified in gerontology. She's the founder and owner of Gero Resources LLC. And Mary does a lot of our caregiver workshops. So this workshop, caregivers are certainly welcome to look at what's going on with themselves and their loved ones, but this is open to all members of the public.
And the 2 sessions that are coming up are going to be when?
Well, we have a session at the O'Malley Senior Center, which is located at 1275 Odenton Road in Odenton, and that will be held on Wednesday, June 22nd from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. The final workshop will be at the Pascal Senior Activity Center, which is at 125 Dorsey Road in Glen Burnie, which is right near the I-97 exit. And that one's going to be held on Tuesday, June 28th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m.
Are these free? Do you need to register?
They are free, and we do hope people will pre-register just so we make sure we have enough seating for them and so that we have enough handouts for them.
Is there a telephone number people should call, or can they go online, or both?
They can do both. They can call 410-222-4464, extension 3043, and they can also visit us online at www.aacounty.org/aging.
And scroll down to the caregivers.
That's right. They'll find a link where they can do the registration right online.
Well, this looks like it's going to be an interesting and a fun evening for people who participate.
I hope to see you there.
I'm thinking seriously about it. I want to check out that hearing part as I'm getting. I don't believe it, but I'm going to be 68 in September. So I'm like,
Mary.
Where did this come from?
Who's this person in the mirror?
Oh. Well, thank you so much for coming on the program. We do appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
This is Mary Felter for the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities Public Information, and this has been Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Back to you, Karla.
Thanks, Mary. It's really about awareness. We're all getting older and experiencing some problems related to that, but we want to watch out for certain things that might require a little extra attention.
Well, it's time for some summer fun in the sun, and our community spotlight shines this week on Queenstown. Great community, where our own Mark Chang talks to organizers of a great event coming up on July 9th. Mark.
Thank you. I'm over here in this cool June morning over on Queenstown Park off Queenstown Road in Severn, and with me today I have the Board of Directors and the leadership team of the Severn Improvement Association, and I have with me today Miss Linda Smoot, who is the president, Miss Jessica Snipes, who is the secretary, Miss Donna Belt, who is the vice president, Miss Mary Gaither, who is the treasurer, and Miss Phyllis Matthews, who is a board member and longtime community member of the area. And first of all, I'd like to start off with Miss Smoot and talk about and ask her what does the Severn Improvement Association does, and what does the upcoming Queenstown Day, how is that going to benefit the community?
Well, first of all, the Severn Improvement Association was established in 1959, and it was a small group of people that came together to better the quality of the community. And we've been together now for 52 years, and we have done many things for the community. Some of the things in earlier times was the street lights, city water, and leveling out part of the road, which was called Thunder Hill. And through those years, down through the years, there have been many, many other members of the association or board that have continued the service for the community, for a better quality of life for the community.
Great. And what does Queenstown Day do for the community?
It brings everyone together. It's almost like a family reunion where all the families get together and they basically come together and basically fellowship and have a good time during the day.
Great. I want to shift over to Miss Donna Belt, who is a vice president of the association. Miss Donna, we go back a little bit. You were an instrumental part of helping this community out with Census 2010, and we really appreciate all your efforts with that. Could you tell us when Queenstown Day is going to be?
Well, Queenstown Day is an annual event for this community here, and it normally is held on the second week in the month of July. And this year, Queenstown Day will fall on the 9th of July. The event starts at about 12 noon, and we have a good time right here at Queenstown Park where the event takes place.
Great. I know you all have some great hot dogs over here, too.
Oh, yummy, yummy. Very good. Yeah. Very, very good.
I know I've enjoyed it in the past years coming over here either as a spectator or as a participant of the day, and it's been really enjoyable. And now I'd like to shift over to Miss Jessica Snipes, who is the secretary of the organization. And could you tell about more of the activities that are going to be going on that day?
Yes, in fact, our day begins on July the 8th, which is our Gospel Fest. That will kick off our celebration, and it will be at the Metropolitan United Methodist Church at 7 p.m. And then Saturday, we have our parade that starts at 12:30, and we are so excited because we have various marching bands from the Baltimore, Annapolis area. We also will have streetcars and classic cars, and we have trucks and motorcycles. Elected officials will be there, and our reigning Miss Queenstown, who is Alicia Poole, will be in the parade, as well as our contestants for this year. One of the highlights of Queenstown Day is the crowning of Miss or Mr. Queenstown. And this year we have Shania Pinkett, and we have a set of twin boys, Isaac and Major Smoot, who will also be competing for Mr. Queenstown. The children raise money for our association, and then the person who raises the most money ends up being the winner. Our day continues on with a moon bounce. We also have arts and crafts for the children. There is basketball. There's a 50-50 raffle. We'll have a DJ presenting music all day long, and it's just a fun time for everyone. Lots of food to eat, and so we want to welcome everyone to come out and share in our day.
Great. Thank you very much, Jessica. And for folks out there who are unfamiliar with Queenstown in the area, how can they get more information? Is there a contact number?
Yes, you can contact me. I'm the event coordinator, and our number is 410-787-1444.
As I mentioned earlier, I really enjoy eating the hot dogs over here. Are there going to be any other food available?
Oh, yes. We always have someone that will be selling the chicken, the fish. We usually have ice creams and all kinds of goodies for everybody, snowballs and everything.
All right, great. So they're all going to walk out here pretty full then, leaving out of the day. Yes. Great. I'll shift over now to Miss Phyllis Queen Matthews, and your longtime resident of the community. And
all my life.
And what else would you like to add that the other ladies have said here?
I'm looking forward to all of you to join us for Queenstown Day, July the 9th. We have elected officials, vendors, family, and friends, and we're looking forward to seeing all of you on Queenstown Day on July 9th. We have an enjoyable time. We have a good time all day long, and the parade and everything is lovely. You really enjoy yourself.
Well, great. Well, I really enjoy working with you all you ladies, and also the rest of the board during the monthly meetings, and also just helping out any way we can in our office and helping out with the quality of life issues in this area. And Miss Mary, did you want to say something too?
Yes, I do want to say something. It would be nice if everyone to come out and see what these groups have accomplished since the beginning. In the beginning, it wasn't Queenstown Community Day. It was called Picnic in the Park, where everybody just bring their little picnic baskets. And it stemmed from there to sell food. So if anybody's wondering, what is Queenstown Day, the older generation, it's Community Day in the Park. We've come a long ways. So everybody just get up and come on out and help us enjoy and see. It's the milestone we have accomplished since I don't know what year, but many years ago.
Great. Well, thank you very much for the history and the background on that. I really appreciate it. Well, you heard it, folks. Come on now on Saturday, July 9th, over at the Queenstown Park in Queenstown, off of Queenstown Road. And we'll just wrap it up. Y'all folks want to say one more shout-out to our folks out there?
Yes, just want to say
See you on July the 9th.
And a shout-out that we will have our event come rain or shine. So please come out and join us. We always have people in the neighborhood who plan their family picnics on Queenstown Day, and then they come down and fellowship with old folks they haven't seen since last year for Queenstown Day. So we welcome everyone to come.
All right, great. I liked how Miss Linda Smoot was about to sign off. So all together, 1, 2, 3, we'll all give a shout-out to all the folks out there watching. 1, 2, 3. Come out to Queenstown Day. All right, that sounds good. Okay, great. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mark. We'll be sure to circle that date on all of our calendars. A lot of activities, a lot of summer fun. But you know what else this time of year brings, Karla? I've been noticing this, is right around July 1st, at least in the county, you start to hear about a lot of
Well,
retirements.
it's the end of the fiscal year.
That's right.
The end of our year anyway.
That's right. So a lot of county employees out there are retiring or thinking about retiring. We had Eileen Burns from our office, who's worked in government relations for a number of years. We wish her the best out there in her retirement. She retired last month. Judy Holmes, the county council's administrator, after...
She's been there a long time.
She's been there a long time. I'm not going to say the years, Judy. But Judy's done a great job down there for the county and working for the council and working for the citizens of the county. A couple people in aging, one of the assistant directors is leaving. So a lot of folks retiring and moving on. John Marshall over at Recreation and Parks going over to Howard County.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there'll be some new faces. We're sad to see those faces leave, but there'll be some new faces coming into the county. So
That's true. They'll be missed, though.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. Next week, Dave Abrams will be right here sitting in my chair, and we're going to have a special treat for you. We've got a live performance in studio by the Annapolis band Sweet Lita. You can watch this episode online anytime at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are always available at blip.tv and on YouTube. You can subscribe to the free video podcast at iTunes. Please tune in again next week for more highlights, news, and even a band. We'll see you next time.